Vasudeva. So how to deepen our faith? Bhagavatam here says, serve the devotees. And what kind of service is recommended in this verse? Hearing. Hearing from devotees. If you hear from devotees about Krishna, then your faith will become very strong. But there is a quality to our hearing. The word shu shu sho has two meanings, according to Srila Prabhupada. The first meaning is to hear sincerely. Sincerely. What does it mean to hear sincerely? It means you hear and you don't criticize while you hear, you don't edit while you hear, you say, okay, I will try to accept, I will try to be receptive what I hear. I will accept it. I will accept what I hear. Sincerely. And you come in with a humble attitude, because in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, the beginning of the process of knowledge is humility. If you have the humble frame of mind, then you can hear very nicely. So, first quality of hearing is sincerity. Second quality, shu shu sho, also has another meaning according to Srila Prabhupada. And that meaning is inquisitively. We should be curious. Oh, how to get faith? How will I be able to transform my life? We want to change. We want to become spiritual. Now we have these material bodies. But if we become Krishna conscious, we can change these material bodies into spiritual bodies. They will become spiritualized just by hearing Krishna Katha. So, now, first word is shu shu sho, sincerely and inquisitively. Second word, shradhanasya, with faith. And not only with faith, there is another meaning. Shraddha means faith. Prabhupada said shradhanasya means with care and attention. So you have to pay close attention to what you hear. And if you pay close attention, it will go to your heart. And you won't forget. So, now, what is the definition of faith according to Chaitanya Charitamrita? Shabha Shabde Shashkaye Shatita Nishtai Krishna Bhakti Pade Sarakarma Krita Hoy. If I simply serve Krishna, all my desires will be fulfilled. That is the definition of faith according to Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If I just do service, if I just chant Hare Krishna, I will see Krishna face to face. All my desires will be fulfilled. When I first joined this movement, I said, so if I chant Hare Krishna, what will happen? And they said, you will see Krishna face to face, just like I'm sitting and you're sitting. You will see Krishna and talk to him like that. So, another definition of faith, Srila Prabhupada gives in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. Now, unflinching means that you trust Krishna, even if sometimes things don't go the way you want them to go. And in this world, usually things don't go the way you want them to go. That's how the world is made. It's made for you to realize it's not the place to stay. It's not comfortable here. You can't be comfortable because we're spiritual beings. We want to live eternally. That's why we don't want to die. We don't want to grow old. We want to be eternally young. And that's why sometimes I forget that I'm 66 years old and I run down the stairs because the soul is young inside. And I'm thinking, I forgot. I just forgot. I thought I'm 16, but when I get to the bottom of the stairs, then I remember, this hurts, that hurts. It doesn't, no, you have to actually remember. Of course, you're not this body, but at the same time, you have to use it properly for Krishna. Yes, you want to fix this? Up more. Too high. Okay, that's good. Is that better? Okay. All right, here's another Prabhupada says from second canto about faith. A grain of devotion, one grain, like a piece of rice, is worth tons of faithlessness. So tons means so much. And if you go out in this world, you will find tons of faithlessness. Everywhere you go, you will find tons. But where will you find one grain of devotion? Very difficult to find in this world. Vaishnavas are very rare. So this is another definition or realization of faith. Now, next important thing, how Prabhupada trained us. We had faith in Srila Prabhupada. So when I joined this movement in 1970, after 1 year, my husband and I, 1 year we were chanting, we were selling back to Godhead. After 1 year, they said, okay, now you devotee 1 year out and start a new temple. That was our training. So we had faith. We had to have faith. Okay, yes, why not? Let's go and start a new temple. And we tried to start a new temple. So the first thing is that we have to be convinced. Srila Prabhupada said, first you be convinced, then you can convince others. There is again, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bharata Bhumite Vailam, Manusya Janma Jar Janma Shata Korikoro, Korarupaka. But first you become perfect, then you can also make others' lives perfect. So Prabhupada would always challenge us. Are you convinced? When he was talking to his scientist, Swarup Damodar, he said to Swarup Damodar, are you convinced that life comes from life, not life comes from matter? He said, yes, I'm convinced. So Prabhupada said, then you write a book. And that was the first book written, not by Prabhupada, by Swarup Damodar, Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness. And he also challenged Indradumna Maharaj one time. He said to Maharaj, just see the rascals, so much technology, but no good qualities. We were discussing that today. I was discussing with somebody and they were saying, in India, we are taking the lowest part of the Western culture. And they are taking our best part of the Indian culture. We are taking Bhagavad Gita. And they are taking all the movies and the whatever, the Western culture. So Prabhupada said, they're all rascals. He turned to Indradumna Maharaj, what do you think? And he said, yes, Prabhupada. He said, all rascals, what do you think? Yes, Prabhupada. He said, then I was convinced forever one cannot develop good qualities unless he is a devotee. So one time, Prabhupada got all the GBCs together and they had a special meeting and he turned to each one, are you convinced? And everybody just sat and nobody said anything. Everybody was afraid to say something in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, are you sincere? He says, I'm convinced. If somebody says, you believe? I say, no, I don't believe. It's a fact. It's a fact. So he was challenging us all the time. Now one very wonderful thing Prabhupada said, this was in 1971 in a lecture, that one thing will make us happy and one thing will make us convinced. Now what will make us happy? Prabhupada said, Sankirtan will make you happy. Chanting Hare Krishna will make you happy. And if you read my books, you will be convinced. So the two must go together. We must chant Hare Krishna to be happy and to understand the books also. And if we want to be convinced about this life, have faith, then we should read Prabhupada's books. Now it's my turn to ask you all a question. because this is an interactive seminar. I won't sit here only and speak, but this first question is very easy for you. I just want you to think of one thing about Krishna consciousness that you're convinced about. Just anything that you're convinced that this works, that I have faith that this is actually true, this is working, this will help me. Yes? Chanting, okay. She is convinced that chanting is the way. Anybody else is convinced? Yes?
Book distribution.
Book distribution, okay. Anybody? Yes? Chanting. Yes, chanting will make you happy and take you all the way to Krishna. Yes?
Love and care for the devotees.
What did she say?
Love and care.
Love and care for the devotees. Okay, you're convinced about that, yeah? Sankirtan, good. Yes, Sankirtan. Kamalalochan, Prabhu.
Just hanging on to ISKCON.
Hanging on to ISKCON, yes. Yes. We are on the boat. Don't jump off the boat. Yes? This brahmachari.
Dedicated to Srila Prabhupada mission.
Dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's mission. Okay, you're convinced that that's the way of life. Reading Prabhupada's books, yes?
Vaishnav Seva.
Vaishnava Seva. Anybody else I saw sometime too. Okay, so we have some people who are convinced here. And if any of you have any doubts, you can ask those people about how to get faith in chanting, in distributing books, in doing these things. Very good. Very nice. So now, next question. We already talked about faith. Now, I want you to think about what faith means to you. It can be just in one word. In one word, I'll make it easy. Just one word. What does faith mean for you, actually? Yes?
Surrender. Surrender.
Surrender. Okay, yeah?
To be convinced.
To be convinced, okay?
Service.
Service is, yes.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind, okay? Yes. What? Instructions. Wow. Yes, instructions. Very good. Yes. Surrender, okay? Yes, front?
Trust.
What?
Trust.
I couldn't hear.
Trust.
Trust, okay, very good. Trust means I trust Krishna. What he's going to do with my life, I give my life, I trust. Okay, in the back, yes?
You say that what I am doing is perfectly alright.
What I'm doing is completely all right, in devotional service, I hope. Okay. Yes, Kamalalocha? Attachment. Attraction. Okay, thank you. Yes, we have a very good class here. Everybody has good ideas. Now, oh yeah, also protection, that's another one, protection. We're in Krishna's hands. I want to share with you something that Radhanath Swami said about faith. His definition, faith is the act of seeing beyond the region of possibility of the senses, mind, and intelligence. So he's saying, if there is something that's beyond your senses, mind, and intelligence, and you believe, you have faith in that, that's faith. Because usually we judge by our senses. If I see, I believe. One time, one of my godbrothers, he was giving a class, and one policeman was arresting him in New York for distributing books. In the old days, the police would not be happy. But then the policeman was very intelligent, so they got in a philosophical discussion. And the policeman said, well, I think if I don't see, it doesn't exist. If I don't see something, then it's not there. So the devotee was intelligent. He said, well, what happens if you're chasing a thief and the thief goes around the corner? Now you don't see him. So does that thief not exist? The policeman said, okay, you can go. Yeah, so, so we have to be, this is, anyway. So, faith, also another, real faith is not something somebody forces you to do. You must have faith, or else you will go to hell, or else you this or that. No, it's not something forced, but it's coming from within, like a seed. If you plant a seed and you water the seed, it will grow. So faith is like a seed, it's planted in the heart. And when we chant, when we hear, we're watering the seed and the plant is growing into a beautiful creeper. So that is faith. Now, Prabhupada had faith in the words, in the instruction of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And that's why he went all by himself to New York City. When he got off the boat in Boston, he didn't know whether I should go right or left, he said. But he had faith. Many of my godbrothers and godsisters, they also had faith. The beginning of the farm near Ahmedabad, in Surat, somewhere in Gujarat, I think near Ahmedabad, there's a farm. My godbrother and godsister, married couple with one small child, 4 years old, they went to start the farm. They sat underneath the tree and they were chanting. They had no house. They were just chanting Hare Krishna. Then monsoon came and they were still chanting under the tree in the rain. But after the first day of monsoon, one man came and he said, I will build you a house. So they had faith. And Krishna, many of us, we started like that. We just were sent to some country, some city with no money, nothing. We went to Burma. We were the first devotees in Burma. At that time, you could not stay more than 1 week in Burma, or else you get put in jail immediately. So we went there, not to preach, but to get a visa, actually. But we had faith in Krishna. Okay, if we go, we will get a visa in Burma. And we got a visa. And we got out before 7 days. So many things required. Prabhupada taught us that impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. So therefore, we felt we can do anything. Of course, we felt we are not qualified to do anything, but if we have faith in Prabhupada, that if he tells us to do something, by that, just by his instruction, then we can do it. So here's what Prabhupada said. He read one purport by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Bhagavad Gita, where the Acharya, he says, here is what he says about faith. I'm not interested in my own salvation. I may go back to Godhead, I may not go, it doesn't matter. I don't mind. Only one thing I'm interested in, and that is the words of my spiritual master. That is my life. Whether I'm successful or not, it doesn't matter. I just take the words of my Guru, and that is secret of success. Because we have to become instruments. And instrument is, usually you think, well, an instrument doesn't have any mind or intelligence, but no, these kind of spiritual instruments, they also think, they also feel, they do things. So we are instruments in the hand of our spiritual master. And he can use us if we allow him to work through us. And that we do by purifying ourselves by chanting. So, another point about faith that Prabhupada said, it must be practical. Practical means action. You don't just say, oh, I have faith. Then you go, you must do something, you must show, there must be some reciprocation. If you have faith in Krishna, if you actually read Bhagavad Gita and Krishna says, surrender to me, then you will surrender to Krishna. You will show by your action how you surrender. Okay. So now, next topic, why should we have faith? Now I'm not asking you, I'll tell you the different reasons why we should have faith. and this is from Srimad Bhagavatam mostly, and also from other scriptures. First is from Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma, in Canto 2, Chapter 6, verse 34. He tells us, because I have caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord with great enthusiasm, whatever I say has never proved to be false, nor is the progress of my mind ever deterred, nor my senses ever degraded. So he's talking about words and mind and senses. So these are the three things we have to work with, and these are the three things that give us trouble. If we say something wrong or something, we can get in trouble. Or even if we say something truth, we can get in trouble. In Kali Yuga, you say the truth, you're in trouble. So, how to make it so your words are never false? You have to, except, as we say, hang on to the boat, hang on to ISKCON, hang on to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada told us in one letter, if you practice for 12 years Krishna consciousness, chanting 16 rounds, getting up early, following the rules, whatever you speak will be true. It will happen. It will come true. So watch out. If any of you have already been practicing for 12 years, then this may happen. Now secondly, what you can expect to happen is the progress of your mind will never be stopped. If you have a plan to do something for Krishna, nobody can stop you. People may say so many things, but nobody will be able to stop you. And the third thing is your senses will never be degraded. Your body will automatically want to eat prasadam, not to eat somewhere else. You will want to see the beautiful form of Krishna. You will want to smell the incense. These things will happen if you have faith. You hold on to the lotus feet of Prabhupada, to ISKCON. Now, next thing, if you have faith, you will get knowledge. The weapon of knowledge, Bhagavad Gita 4:42. All the doubts which have arisen in your heart should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. And in Bhagavatam, it's described Gyanasim Achyuta Bala, which means Krishna gives you the sword of knowledge, and who gives you the strength to hold the sword? Bala. Gyanasim Achyuta, Achyuta is Krishna, he gives you the sword, and Bala, Balaram, gives you the strength to hold the sword of knowledge. So, if you have faith, you will get knowledge and your doubts will be destroyed. Now again, I want to repeat how to get faith by serving the devotees, especially by hearing from the devotees. Prabhupada said in the purport to this verse 16, if you serve the servants of Krishna, you get the quality of such servants and you become qualified to hear. So sincere, inquisitive to hear and serve the servants. Again, a quote from Radhanath Swami. The strength to perform the austerity of enthusiasm comes from sincere chanting and attentive hearing. So chanting and hearing. Tomorrow we'll talk more about that. Now, another benefit of faith is that if you are dumb, mukam karati vachalam, you will be able to speak. Now, dumb doesn't simply mean you cannot talk. It means that maybe you're scared to talk about Krishna to other people. Maybe you're afraid to give a lecture. And that's also mukam karati vachalam, then you'll be able to speak volumes. Then, pangum langa tegirim. If you are lame, you can cross mountains. Actually, when I was in Juhu, 1984, we had one devotee. He was deaf and dumb from birth. He became initiated. And after some association with devotee, he started speaking, actually, making sounds. So it's possible. And we have one also, sannyasi, he's on the crutches. And he's doing pariyatra also, many across countries. So this is proof. If you have faith, anything that is a problem with you, if you suppose you cannot walk, you will cross mountains. Suppose you cannot speak, then you will start to speak. Then the third, if you're blind, you can see the stars in the sky. There is one, if you go to Varshana in India, there is one painting which was made by a blind man of Krishna, Radha and Krishna dancing in the peacock dress. This is more Kutir up in Varshana. It's done by a blind person. So everything is possible. Everything is possible. And we are the proof that we came from a country where, it's atheistic, people don't believe in Krishna, we never heard about Krishna. But because we had faith in Srila Prabhupada, then we could accept. In India it's more difficult actually, because if you say, worship Krishna, they'll say, why not Durga, why not Ganesh, why not this one, why not that one? In America, Prabhupada said, worship Krishna. We said, yeah, why not Krishna? Let's worship him. And he was perfect for us because he was beautiful, he was dancing, he was singing, so many, and he was having a good time, and that's how, we were too. But we thought, yeah, Krishna is really good. We should accept him. We want to go and be with him in Goloka. So, if you have faith, you can do impossible things. And the last verse, Yasya deve parabhakti yata deve tata guru tasaite katita yarta prakashante mahatmana. If you have faith in Krishna and Guru, all the imports of Vedic knowledge will be revealed in your heart. Yes. And that I will explain. I think it's in this class. Not in this one. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you later about that story. Okay? Now, Narada Muni, he had faith in the Bhaktivedantas, and he got three things. First, he got knowledge. Then he got mystic powers. And lastly, he got bhava, or love for God. So even mystic powers come to devotees. But we are not looking for those things, because they are obstacles. But sometimes you can use them in Krishna's service. I was told there is one devotee, he chants japa and he travels to all the planets. But he says, don't do it. Don't go for mystic powers. It's really a distraction. It's really not helpful for devotional service. So, I will tell you how by serving devotees, then you can get faith and go back to Godhead. In Juhu Beach, maybe some of you know this man. He was, of course, he already left his body. His name is Mr. Sethi. Maybe you heard about him. Otherwise, I'll tell you. When we first came to Bombay in 1972, the conditions were very, very austere. The men were living in one hut. The women were on the roof of a building, and it was summer. It was May month in Bombay. So that's pretty hot. And the first day I was sitting in the hut. The hut is also prasadam room, it's also kitchen, it's everything. Office, everything in one hut. So we were having prasadam, and I was looking up and I was seeing these big, big rats were running across the top, and I was praying to Krishna, please don't let the rat fall in my plate. And the rat fell in somebody else's plate. I was happy, but I shouldn't have been happy, I know. But anyway, it was very austere. And we didn't have Bisleri, we had this matka, this pot, clay pot with a cover, and you open the cover for drinking water, and out all the mosquitoes will fly from it. And that's all we had, no choice. Or else, don't drink. So very much austerity. We didn't have a place to stay. We were just on the roof. And so this man, Mr. Sethi, he was into construction. And he built rooms for the devotees. On top of the flats in back of the temple, there were some flats with tenants. And the tenants, we could not get them out. This is India. Tenants own the flat after 1 year or so. That was the law. That was, maybe still now, I don't know. But that was the rule then, that if they stay more than 1 year, you have to pay them the value of the flat to get them out. So we didn't have any money. So he built rooms on top of his flats for the devotees. So one day he went to see Srila Prabhupada, covered with cement, covered with dust. And Srila Prabhupada said to Mr. Sethi, just as you are building rooms for my devotees here, my disciples, Krishna is building your room in Goloka Vrndavana. So Mr. Sethi said, oh, my Prabhupada, I am so sinful, how I will go back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, that I will see. You don't have to worry. I will see. And this man, he left his body, and we know where he went. He didn't get initiated because he was still drinking tea. So he said, I'm a sinful man. But he went back to Godhead because he did service for devotees. Even after Srila Prabhupada left, Prabhupada would come to him in dreams. He said, in Chandigarh, my devotees need a washroom. You go and build a washroom in Chandigarh. So he would serve the devotees. And he had great faith in serving devotees. So in the purport again, service of devotee is more valuable than service of Krishna. So now I'm going to ask you questions again. First a simple one, and second will be more difficult. First one is, why did you come to this movement? What was the first thing that made you come here? That attracted you to come here? Yes?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind, okay? Gita. What?
Kirtan.
I can't hear.
Kirtan.
Kirtan, okay, yeah. Prasad.
Singing, dancing.
What?
Singing, dancing.
Singing, dancing. Yes? Association. Yes? Evening artis? Oh, okay. Yes? Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, that's what I heard. Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes? Attraction for Krishna. Very good. Yes, so we have something for everybody here. Yes? Who? Temple?
Yeah, you disciple.
What does he say? I can't hear.
He came for your darshan.
Oh, this is the first time. Oh, Hare Krishna. Oh, this is Prabhupada's mercy. Because who will want to see me? It's only because of my connection with Srila Prabhupada. That's why. Okay, Prabhupada is very merciful. And yeah, I will tell you one story about one man in Calcutta, how he came to Krishna consciousness. He was actually alcoholic, a Christian man, alcoholic. But one day his car got a flat tire right in front of our Calcutta temple. And he came up to the temple to get some help, but he was so drunk that he collapsed on the temple floor. And it was during Tulsi Arti in the morning, Tulsi Arti, and Prabhupada was there. And the devotees were really upset with him. They just wanted to take him and throw him out. And Prabhupada came out, and Prabhupada said, what's happening? And they said, oh, this man, he's just causing disturbance. Prabhupada said, no, you go, you take him home to his house. Prabhupada was very merciful. So that man, later on, when he wasn't drinking, he came back to Tulsi Arti. He got attracted to the Tulsi Arti. And he came back, and he started to learn the words. And then he went home, and then he started coming regularly to the temple, although he was a Christian. And then later on, Prabhupada left. He didn't see Prabhupada anymore. But one night, he woke up, he had a dream of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada came to him in the dream and says, I'm accepting you as my disciple, and your name is Tulsi Archie. And his wife woke up at the same time. She said, I saw Prabhupada, and he gave me a name too. And so, anyway, and these people, they're chanting Hare Krishna, and their daughter, they sent their daughter to America for education. And then one day she phoned up and she said, I have a boyfriend. And they said, oh no, after we've been going to temple and all this, now you have a boyfriend. She said, yeah, we're coming, I'll show him, we're coming back, we'll come and visit you. And so they went to meet at the airport, and there he comes, he's got tilak and dhoti, and I said, okay. Yeah, so anyway, this is Prabhupada's mercy. If we have faith in Prabhupada, then our whole life can be changed. Now I'm going to give you 3 things, 3 ways you can strengthen your faith. And this will be your homework for tomorrow. You don't have to write anything, but I want you to try one of these 3 things, or all 3, if you like. The first way to strengthen your faith is to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita tomorrow. Try it. Read it or hear the class. That's the first way. Bhagavatam says, Shukadeva Goswami says, one who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord. So with attention, you try to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the first way. Second way, you have to behave like a devotee. Means what you hear, you practice. If the verse says you must tolerate, like Gita, if you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, you must tolerate. Happiness and distress, it comes and goes. Just like winter and summer seasons. Just like youth and old age. They come and they go. But we must tolerate these things. So if you really believe that you're not this body, then you will follow Krishna's instruction. One who believes he's not this body, he will tolerate. He has to tolerate. So that's what it means to apply the teaching. Second way to strengthen your faith is you try to practice something you heard or something you know that you didn't try yet. Try to practice something you heard. Now, the third way to strengthen your faith, hear Bhagavatam, practice Bhagavatam. The third way is to be grateful. Just say, thank you, Krishna, when you wake up in the morning. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve devotees. For chant, thank you for giving me the holy name. Thank you for giving me association of devotees. Now, that's the easy part. Now there's a more difficult part. Sometimes things happen to us that we are not very happy or thankful for. We have to say thank you for that too. We have to say thank you, Krishna, for giving me this problem. Now I have to become closer to you. I will give you an example. One of my friends did a seminar on this. And he said you have to write 10 reasons why you're thankful for something difficult that happened. Or maybe some relationship you have with somebody. Thank you for giving me this person to associate with. Because now you have to say why too. This is the hard part. I'll give you an example that he gave. Thank you, Krishna, for breaking my computer, because now I won't forget how to write with the pen. Thank you, Krishna, for breaking my computer, because now I will use my brain more. Thank you, Krishna, for breaking my computer, because now I will get more exercise. Thank you, Krishna. So he went on up to 10. 10 reasons why thank you, Krishna. And when he came to number 10, his computer started working again. It works actually. I tried it also when I was traveling. in Sweden last year, I couldn't get internet. And for me, I need internet because tickets come and, communication. So somebody came to try to help me with my internet connection, to connect to the temple internet. But instead of helping me, they broke my complete Wi-Fi, so I couldn't connect to anything. So I called up America, my son, at 12 o'clock midnight. Mom, it's 12 o'clock. I said, it's emergency online support. And so he told me exactly what to do. And I did what he told me, but it still didn't work. So then I started my list. Thank you, Krishna, for breaking my internet, because now I won't be in Maya. So many reasons. I got to number 8. I went to sleep that night. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I understood how to fix it, even though I'm not a technical computer person. And it was just what my son told me, but I did one step number 2 at the wrong time. I should do it at a different sequence or a different time, at the same time I'm supposed to do it. So I tried it and it worked. I got my internet. But anyway, it's good to always be grateful to Krishna. Something good happens, also something difficult happens. We should say, thank you, Krishna, it's your mercy. That's how Queen Kunti was. Queen Kunti said, thank you for all the difficulties, because when we are in trouble, you come. Yeah, and somebody was telling me about the experience in Mayapur, Navadvip Parikrama or something, and there was some problem came up. Some villagers wanted to stop them from having their parikrama. They were angry, and all of them started chanting the Shringa mantra, and immediately after 5 minutes everybody left and they went on their parikrama. So it's nice to see how Krishna reciprocates with us, even when we're in difficulty, when we appreciate. It's okay, there's for some reason I'm here, some reason this is happening, we have to accept. So 3 ways to strengthen your faith. Hear Bhagavatam or Gita or any books. Apply what you hear, means behave like a devotee. 3rd thing is to be grateful. Say thank you, Krishna, for something tomorrow. In between today and tomorrow's class, then I will ask you beginning of the class what you did, what happened. So usually I like to give homework because otherwise you'll forget what I said. Now you have your homework. Do one thing to strengthen your faith before tomorrow's class. Okay. So now our last topic is how to pass the test of faith. Now, has anybody here, I'm not going to ask you to speak, but you can just raise your hand. If your faith has been tested sometimes, I won't ask you to say anything, it's just, okay, your faith has been tested, good, yeah, it will be tested. How to pass the test. So one time, Srila Prabhupada, he was speaking, he said, there will be a test for devotees. Prahlad Maharaj, he had so many tests. Bali Maharaj, he had so many tests. And one devotee said, and after you pass the test, no more test? Or more severe test is coming, harder test? And Prabhupada said, no, you pass the exam, no more test. Isn't that nice? Of course, you might get a different test, but I experienced. You pass one test and it comes in a different, but that's all right. The most difficult test is at the time of death. Yes. So, one devotee said, well, passing the test, does that depend on your faith in Krishna? And then Prabhupada immediately said, okay, what is faith? What does that mean, faith in Krishna? What do you mean by faith? So he said, conviction. He said, what is your conviction? Describe. Prabhupada was always giving us question. Krishna is the controller, he said. Wrong answer. Prabhupada said, yeah, Krishna is controller. You may have faith, no faith. That doesn't matter. Okay, then another one said, if you're convinced, Krishna will always protect you. Then another devotee said, when you're convinced to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, Prabhupada said, yes, that is faith. That is faith means you are meant to give some service to Krishna. And you should stick to that service, that path, in spite of all impediments. That's faith. And your faith will be tested. We have to remain determined, no matter what happens. If we cannot say, oh, okay, I asked Krishna for a husband and he didn't give me. Okay, so I'm leaving Krishna now. I'll go to some other god. Maybe I better go to Shiva. He's more merciful. No, you still worship Krishna. You worship Krishna, and He will give you the best thing for you. So passing the test means to execute the order of the spiritual master despite all impediments. And the test will make you stronger, actually. So there's one time Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture on Bhagavad Gita in Hyderabad, India, about Arjuna. And after the class, one man raised his hand, Swamiji, I think Arjuna is not a pure devotee. Because he heard Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, don't lament. But after, in the battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna's son Abhimanyu died and Arjuna was lamenting. So he's not a pure devotee. So what did Prabhupada say? He said, no. The proof that he's a pure devotee is he did not leave the fighting. He did not say, oh, my son died, I quit. No. He fought even more vigorously. And he got the person who is responsible for his son's death, Jayadratha. So this is faith. Faith means we follow Krishna even though things may happen in our life which we may not understand, but later on we say, thank you Krishna, now I understand why you did these things. I know one devotee recently told me a story. Last year happened to her. She was 3 months, her back went bad and she couldn't move for 3 months out of the bed. She said, why this happened to me, Krishna? I don't understand. And then after it happened, she remembered astrologer told her, don't move for this 3 months of this year, otherwise you'll be in severe accident and you'll be paralyzed and you'll have a problem. And she said, oh, that's why Krishna put me in the bed so I wouldn't have that accident. So yes, Krishna knows what is best. Krishna knows what is best for us. Now there's a beautiful verse in 11th canto of Bhagavatam that says that there may be obstacles on the path of a sincere devotee who's preaching, but these obstacles increase the determination. In fact, every time we overcome one obstacle, it's a rung on a ladder that leads us back to Godhead, to Krishna. Every time, so one trouble, we pass it, we go up one. Another trouble, another rung, another step closer to Krishna. Up, 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 it leads us back to Godhead. Every time we overcome one obstacle. So I would just like to tell you an example of a lady who is 84 years old, who had faith in Krishna, and she did impossible thing. And she's from Germany. She's in the West. When you're old, they put you in an old folks' home. She was living in an old folks' home and coming every Sunday to the temple on the bus. She could hardly walk, she could hardly see. And the bus driver was very kind. He dropped her right in front of the temple. So one Sunday, she got a new bus driver. He kept her 1 kilometer away in the village. And the road, she had to come on the road, it's only like practically one lane, and these big trucks, it's in the forest, so these big trucks with trees come down this road very fast. I was scared to walk on the road myself, but somehow she walked to the temple that day, 1 kilometer, although she can hardly walk and see. So the devotee said, well, how did you come? How did you walk? She said, oh, it was very easy. I just saw Krishna right in front of me and I followed him all the way. So that's faith. She had the faith. Okay, she just took that step towards Krishna and Krishna came. We have to take that step. We have to sometimes take a risk. Take the step, have faith that Krishna will catch us. He'll take care of us. We have to trust Krishna, and He will help us. One more example I'll give you about one man in India, again old man, like 60 years old, in Delhi. He wanted to join the temple when Prabhupada was here, but devotees said, no, devotees said, yes, you have to work 6 months in the temple, then you can become initiated. And he showed the devotee, he said, I have these, swollen, legs were swollen. He was old man. He said, I cannot work. So he says, I want to be a disciple, but I have so much problem with my leg. How can I work for 6 months? I cannot serve. Can you please ask Prabhupada? He told one of my godbrothers, please ask Prabhupada to accept me. So this devotee took the man to see Prabhupada, and he said to Prabhupada, I want to chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada said, who is stopping you? You know how to chant? So Prabhupada took his beads and he chanted one round on his beads and he gave them back. He didn't give him name, but he just chanted on his beads and gave them. So what the man wanted, he got his initiation. He didn't get a name, but then so then the devotee, the devotee, he went to visit the man later. And he was still chanting. He had a big picture of Prabhupada in his room, and he was still chanting. And then he went back again, and he had left his body. And his family said, we couldn't take the beads out of his hand the last week. All he did was chant Hare Krishna, and that was the last thing we heard when he left his body. So Prabhupada is very merciful. He will accept you. He will take you. He's very kind. We just have to follow Srila Prabhupada. Alright, so I will stop here. I'll remind you of your homework. That is to try something to strengthen your faith tomorrow. Either hear Bhagavatam, apply the Bhagavatam, or say, thank you Krishna for something. It can be good things too, not just bad things. Good things come look for the good actually. Better you look for good things to thank Krishna for. Okay? Are there any questions or comments on this class? Yes? Is that it? No. No question. If not, I can give you something more also that is helpful for you from Sachinandan Swami. If you have no question, then you get more nectar. Oh, you have a question? Okay.
Most of the times it is seen that when people, that is when a layman, okay, or a materialist person, when he goes to some problem, okay, and when he feels that God has helped him,
right,
that time he starts having faith in Krishna.
That's right.
Or any other God.
Right.
Okay. So is this I feel that this should not be the only reason for having faith in
Right.
Krishna, right?
Right.
So, but suppose if a person is developing faith, by such example in his life, okay, so is it a right way or?
Yes, of course it's right. He's asking the question that suppose something happens good in his life and he feels like God is helping him, then is it all right that will strengthen your faith? And the answer is yes, because by experience, by practical experience of how God is helping us in our life, then our faith becomes very strong. And that's why I ask to strengthen your faith, you try to follow something and see what the result will be in your life. Yeah, this is very good. It's very good. Of course, it's not the only reason we go to God. As you say, we want to just serve God no matter what happens. And so that's why I say you say thank you no matter what, even if it's... And that's the test of your faith, actually. That would be the test. When good things happen, then of course your faith increases. Now when bad things happen, then we have to say thank you also. And then actually I see that sometimes I don't understand why Krishna is doing something But then afterwards, after some years later, I look back and I say, wow, he saved me. He saved me from so much trouble. See, he saved me, he protected me. Now I understand why. Now I understand why that happened, and it was for the better. And this is Krishna consciousness, to see more and more how Krishna is helping you in your life. He's giving you air, he's giving you food, he's giving you everything. I mean, without the air, you cannot breathe. Yes. Yeah.
Two things you should say thank you for. One is when some good things happen in your life.
Yes.
You should thank Krishna.
Yeah.
The other way, once you said is that even if it's something is not so decent or something is not so good with you, okay, you still thank Krishna.
Yes.
Right? But when something good doesn't happen to you and when you thank Krishna, so obviously you will have that kind of little bit of sad feeling in you, isn't it? Because things didn't work as per your wish.
Yeah, I can't quite hear you so well. Yeah, I lost my hearing in 1 year.
Okay, I'll repeat myself.
Okay.
When some things don't happen as per your wish.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, when some things don't happen as per your wish.
Then also you thank Krishna.
Then you thank Krishna, yes.
So when things don't happen as per our wish, we thank Him.
Yeah.
But that time the feeling of sadness is also there. Little bit
Yes.
sadness is there.
Yes, sadness is there.
So is it fine, to have that kind of feeling and thank Him, or we should not have that kind of sad feeling?
No, that will be natural to have the sad feeling, but you also have to say 10 reasons why you're thanking Him. Because when Prabhupada, when he gave his answer about Arjuna, he said it's natural, it's human nature to lament. He is a human being, he has emotions, that's why he's lamenting for his son. But then he didn't stop his devotional service. He kept going, he kept having faith in Krishna. Even after his son died on the battlefield, he felt, we do feel, we have emotions, what can we do? The best thing though is to, when you do any emotion you have, you put it in your chanting Hare Krishna. And then it will get purified, or we'll go to the right direction. Okay? Yes?
I guess when bad things happen, we are thanking Krishna because it could have been worse.
Yeah, okay. This is a nice comment. When bad things happen, also, we're thanking Krishna because it could have been much worse. I had a very bad infection in my finger and a week ago, and I thought, well, probably I should have lost my finger, but instead I just got, it felt like I was losing it completely. It was pretty heavy.
The Bhagavad Gita said this, I don't remember which verse, but it said in the Bhagavad Gita that we are thanking Him because it could be much worse.
Yeah, it could be much worse. It could be much worse. Yes, it's a fact. It could have been worse. And when you surrender to Krishna, your karma is taken away. And Krishna gives you just a little bit, so you don't get attached to living here and think, well, it's quite nice here now, I might as well stay. No. You have to remember, back to Godhead is your place to go. It's not a comfortable place here to be. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I'll just share this with you very quickly. This is also a way to live your faith. In Satchidananda Swami, 3 things again. 3 things you can do. 1 thing I mentioned in class. The first thing you can do, improve your practice. See how you can improve your chanting or improve your service. The second thing is to pray for chanting with taste, with attraction, for bhakti with taste. And the third thing is take a risk. Do something difficult for Krishna. Do something normally you would not do. Take the next step in your spiritual life. So these 3 things, again, I will repeat them again tomorrow because they're very nice. That is, improve your practice, pray for bhakti with taste, and also take a risk for Krishna. Okay, so I would ask you to give back these papers. We will use them again for the next 2 days. So it's good if you give them back, and we'll pass them out again tomorrow for those of you who come. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.